So yeah, I mean, he's like super good Samaritan. He can sing. He's attractive. He's got, you know, his girlfriend is like, his girlfriend is really interesting. I think she's kind of an immigrant. It seems like she can speak English pretty well, but it's actually a topic that's brought up. Again, it's not super relevant. It's just something brought up during the film. You know, it's really cool that they brought it up because I mean they're in the Southwest, so I imagine she's Spanish to some extent, or from Mexico. You know, I imagine, but. I mean, it's really cool. It's a neat subplot. They don't usually do that with main characters, you know. But yeah, Chase is the actor that does Chase. He's acted well. He doesn't have a lot of weird dialogue. Like sometimes we'll just have those scenes that are either seem overacted or underacted, and they just don't sound right. He generally isn't like that. He does a decent job. Nothing spectacular, but he does it. The dialogue exchange that I mentioned earlier between him and the sheriff. That was actually I thought that was really well written. Like, it wasn't like some stories are like, now we're going to explain the history and just this whole flashback and they just dwell on it and fucking dwell on it and they just shove it down your throat. Well, this movie isn't like that. This is how I think some backstory or a decent amount of backstory should be done in films. It should just be subtly put into the dialogue, and not unnaturally, because this has a very natural feel to it. When the guy's talking, when the sheriff and Chase are talking to one another, it seems real natural. The characters have really good chemistry together. I mean, as good as they can, I suppose, but I mean, they sound like real people would sound. It doesn't seem like this explosive shit that people wouldn't say that you see in science fiction, or just in movies sometimes in general, not just science fiction, not to fucking point fingers, but just in general. And that's, I don't know, I mean, for those two, it's just, that particular scene of dialogue, which is probably the best bit of dialogue in the entire fucking movie, it goes well together. And then the actor that does Chase does a really good job, and, you know, again, nothing too fantastic, just does his job.
Just between us, Liz Humphreys and Pat Wheeler didn't get home last night.
Oh. They were supposed to meet us at the drive-in, but they didn't show up. We wondered what happened.
Were they in any kind of trouble?
What do you mean?
You know.
No, I don't think so.
Chase, level with me.
I'm almost positive they weren't in any trouble. I'd know.
Do you think they might have run off to get married?
Well, they've been going steady for over a year now. And I know they talked about it, but... no, not like for right now.
Did Pat have any money stashed?
Yeah, some.
Like how much?
Well, he was talking about getting a new blower and a mill. That's about $500.
Where did he get that kind of money?
He saved it. His old man gives him a good allowance when he's not mad at him.
What bank does he use?
None. He's afraid his dad would find out.
He could have been saving it to get married, couldn't he?
It's his money. I guess he could do whatever he wants with it. But you know, if he eloped, his old man had put him down flat.
I know. But Pat's smart enough to provide for himself till the old man cooled off.
The other person really worth mentioning for characters is the sheriff, who you know, is a big, you know, a friend of Chase's, to the point that, you know, he helps him out a lot, and he does certain things in the film which get him in trouble later, but it's not super relevant to the plot, and it's past where I want to discuss anyway. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's generally a good guy sheriff. You know, he doesn't take a lot of shit off of people. He's just a decent, good old boy, small town. You know, well, pretty much rural area. There's like almost no town in the entire film. I mean, he's got good chemistry. He's acted well. No really awkward dialogue. Nothing spectacular. He's just a decent actor. It's really, as far as characters go in the film, it's really Chase, the sheriff, and the Gila monster. That's it. Those are the three you need to worry about. Everybody else is almost irrelevant side characters. It's his, you know, his mom, Chase's mom, sister, girlfriend, all of them. They do their job, but that's all they're there for. They're there to be their role, and they're pretty much just present. They don't, you know, they don't add anything super special to the film. They don't do any incredible acting. They don't really have any super relevance to the main storyline. Just a couple subplots that, you know, could have been done with or done without. They fill up time, so I mean, whatever. They do what they gotta do. The characters, generally, they're alright. Monsters, this is, you know, I don't even fuck talk about it. Monsters is what we're here for. That's generally why I would imagine people watch these reviews. But there's nothing to say about this one. Almost. I shouldn't say that. The giant Gila monster is exactly what it says. It is a giant Gila monster. It doesn't breathe fire, it doesn't have fucking laser breath, or, you know, shoot cold frost beams out of his tail, nothing like that. Or rainbows. Just a regular giant lizard. But the cool thing is, it's kind of how I would imagine, how they do it is how I imagine a giant lizard would be. Because it's not hunting the main character, or dropped in the middle of the town just to blow everything up. It acts as if I would imagine, as I imagine an animal would. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience in herps, but, it hunts, people. Usually victims it gets are people along the road, or driving, or trains. Fuck it, let's just get trains too. But it acts like a lizard would. It doesn't just go in, it doesn't like have this malicious need to kill the main character and fucking stalk him through the film, which some horror films do. Some can rightfully do so, but others, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless the characters put themselves in that danger, and that's different, but these guys don't necessarily always do that. So, it's nothing like that. I mean, it's just, it kills who it comes across, which happen to be main characters in the film. That's usually how it goes in movies. But it doesn't do anything weird. Like, you'll see it scurry across roads sometimes. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't, as weird as the lizard doesn't act out of character. Or they didn't do it right it that way. I don't think it does. Except for maybe the end, which is a little different. But generally, it's alright. Generally, even the ending is acceptable to a certain extent. And, like I said, I can't say anything about the monster, like it doesn't have superpowers, it doesn't have anything. But I can talk about the actual Gila monster, which is a lizard, a sausage-shaped lizard, so says sources. Very slow, kind of heavy lizard. They're very brightly colored, black and orange, meaning not like pretty, pick me up, like don't fuck with me, because I'm poisonous. They're actually the only lizard they're the only lizard native to the United States that is toxic. And I think it's only one of two in the entirety of North America, includes Mexico, that is poisonous. I think. Don't hold me to that second comment. Again, like I said, I'm not a herpetologist, but they're different than how snakes usually are. Like how snakes have the fangs and the glands and their upper jaw, and they can kind of control that. Whereas these guys have the fangs. They're not really fangs. It's just they have a venom sac in their lower jaw, and they can't just inject however much venom they want from biting. They have to do it. The venom's released by masticating or chewing. Once they chew, the venom's released, and it's really just by their food source. The venom is more of a defensive tool. I mean, they usually eat eggs and small mammals and little vertebrates or large invertebrates, I imagine, depending on their age. But it's nothing that they really need the venom for. So it's primarily, they pretty much consider it a defensive tool. That's why it's colored the way it is. It's pretty much you just have a neon sign like, don't fuck with me. Don't pick me up. Don't cuddle me. You ain't gonna like it. And from what I hear, they have a very painful bite to the point that I've heard a lot, like they'll grab on and they won't let go for shit. They'll be like, dude, I'm on. That's all there is to it. So if you see them, again, they are protected by they are a protected species. Don't mess with them. If you see them, get a picture of them. Don't pick them up. Don't take them home. They are poisonous, not to the extent that they'll kill you, but they will make you sick. There's never been a reported fatality from Gila monster venom, but they will make you sick. That's really all I can say about the monster. Just give you some information about the real creature, and there you go. Special effects are practically non-existent, so I really can't give it any a bad rating for special effects. I mean, the monster isn't like, it's not like a giant suit. It's a real lizard, a real It's not. I've heard, you know, mixed sources that's not actually a Gila monster. It's a different lizard that looks similar. I don't know. Don't hold me. You know, if you know this for a fact, like what it actually is, let me know, because I like knowing little shit like that. But I don't know for 100%. So I'm not gonna say that it's the end all be all. So just whatever. But anyway, it's just a lizard in miniature sets, which is good because the movie's, it's a low budget movie. I mean, they don't have $1 million to do everything, so it's a miniature, you know, it's a real lizard miniatures, which is cool in some things, because you know the monster looks realistic, because it's fucking real. I mean, just the miniatures are kind of questionable sometimes, but you know, whatever, they do what they gotta do.